big and important game today, and we really, really need it. So, just seeing now if the stream is live, and if it is, you'll be able to chat, and if you chat, we can read through your chats and put it in the window. Just having a quick look here to see. Yes, we are live. So, sounds a bit low, but hey guys, again, welcome to Red Devils United. Please like, subscribe, and share, and we can try and build a community of Man United fans that will, be able to talk about all the match day fun that we have, and just discuss football in general. So, as discussed, we have a big game against Wolves today. If we ourselves get the win, we will be, I believe, a point ahead of Leicester, or 2 points ahead of Leicester, but also with a game in hand. And we will, be 3 points closer to Liverpool, again with a game in hand. So it's vital to get the win today. I mean, we've had some very, very good results go in our favour. Chelsea dropped, and again, 3 points. With that, Leicester also dropped 2 points. Our draw against Leicester the other day, Liverpool failed to take advantage of it. Then themselves also dropping 2 points. So, we're still within 5 points of top of the table, but with a game in hand, which we have to win. And when we win that, we would be within 2 points of top of the table. This game today is absolutely huge for ourselves. If we can get the win, if we can beat Wolves, get 3 points, go into second, above Leicester with a game in hand, that's going to be massive for us. That would be huge to get the recognition I think that United deserve. Every team, people are talking about United had a bad start. United have, they've lost some games they shouldn't have, whether it was Palace at the start of the season or whether it was Arsenal when they played absolutely atrocious against what is actually one of the worst Arsenal sides at all. But they just, they beat us in a game where we were better than them, and they beat us with a penalty in the final few minutes. They just beat Chelsea 3-1. I think they were 3-0 up in that game. I can't remember, but that's vastly different than the performance they had against us. So again, this is not only a good chance to build a gap between ourselves and the teams below us, but a really, really good and an important chance to try and keep up with Liverpool and keep that title challenge going. Man United can finish really well in the season. I think last year we went 20 games unbeaten in the league, which was massive for us getting third. If we can do and put together a run like that again, we could find ourselves actually leapfrogging Liverpool. But we do need to start winning consistently. Not getting draws like we did against Leicester when we had 2 winning positions, but actually getting wins. All vitally important. We have the chat open, and Obi-Wan K, who's Deco, who will hopefully be joining us for our next video. But Obi-Wan K, need those 3 points today. A lot of draws over the weekend, which was great since we drew. Exactly. Nobody managed to get away from us. In fact, I think Spurs drew. They didn't get any closer. Chelsea, I probably drew. They didn't get any closer. Obviously, Liverpool drew at West Brom, which was brilliant. Relegation team, and they got a draw, and they didn't get away from us in any way. So nobody capitalised on our draw, other than maybe City. I mean, great weekend for City, to be honest. Everybody around them were dropping points, but them. But since then, the matches yesterday, Leicester dropped points again. We can find ourselves leapfrogging them whilst having a game in hand. It would be brilliant. So we're going to have a little quick look, guys, at the team selection, okay? I don't know what the team is, so if anybody is on Sky Sports app or has seen the team announcement, throw it in the chat window live and we can discuss it. If not, I'm just going to go through the team I would like to see. Now, as you can see here, guys, we have got We have got a back four, okay? Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw, De Gea. This is from the last game. Now, we know Lindelof is injured, okay? This gives a great chance for Bali or Twinzabi to do a job. Now, we actually don't have Bali amongst our players, so just bear with me. And sure, we will do it right now. Now here we go. So we have Bali joining the team, or Bailey. We can fix the spelling of that another time. Okay, have to double check on what the spelling of that is, but we leave it like this for now. And we should see how that goes. I'll fix this up properly the next day, but it is just so we have this in here, and there we go. Okay. One second now. Okay. That's a little bit where we are. So we have Shaw, Maguire, we have Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who I also think he wasn't in the last game. I'm not sure if that's due to injury, due to resting the player. If you're online, maybe you can tell me. But if Aaron Wan-Bissaka is out, then we do have Twinzabi who can play at right full. Okay, and then we have Bali, Twinzabi, Luke Shaw, or Tellez, and then we played McTominay and Fred in the last game, and they weren't that great against Leicester. They didn't have much attacking prowess, but it was only a day ago or 2 days ago, so we may look at resting at least McTominay and bringing in Matic to fill in the gap in front of the defence, which means we can have Fred, Pogba and Bruno, and we have then Martial or Rashford, both of them played. So I mean, again, we could see potential changes up top. We could have really Cavani, Rashford, but I think that there now for me looks like the team that they should play. There's a very good chance that we could see Fred gone. We could see Bruno and Pogba with a front of Rashford, Cavani, and even Greenwood then. And again, that would for me be just as good, just as attacking, and that's what we need. We need a team. We need to out and attack these. We need to score. We are suspected or capable of conceding at the back. We are capable of conceding, whether it's a stupid goal like a deflection, or whether it's just from a corner, because we're not very good at defending corners. We are capable of conceding a goal, and because of that, what we really need to look at is scoring as many as we can, which means we need to score at least 2 or 3 goals in order to get to 3 points today. If we score 1, I think we'll be very, very lucky to come away with 3 points. I do believe we have to score 2, 3, if not 4 goals. Very, very important in order to get the win. And to do this, I definitely think we need the 3 up front, Pogba, Bruno and Matic. And again, if you do put Greenwood out and you bring Fred in, that for me, it's okay, because you could have Bruno play very, very high up, and a very, very attacking, very, very, very fast with Rashford, forward lineup, and Cavani's movement is always excellent. But there's a lot of potential. And the one thing about these United, or this United side, is the absolute strength and depth that they have. Man United played against Leeds, they won 6-2. And then in the next game, in the cup against Everton, they made 9 changes. And I swear to God, you wouldn't have known they made a single change other than maybe Henderson for De Gea, which was obvious. Because the rest of the team, you know, Pogba was playing, Van der Beek was playing, Greenwood was playing, Cavani was playing in that Everton game. And any of them for me is a starter. Like I said, we have so much strength and depth that it's hard to say who's not a starter. Like, I mean, if Greenwood played, he could be a starter. If Tellez played instead of Shaw, he could be considered a starter. You could have McTominay in this midfield, and he would be considered a starter. You could have Van der Beek, even though he doesn't start often, he's good enough to be a starter. And you could have players like, whether it's Martial then, instead of Rashford, and he would be considered a starter. I mean, you know, we still got Aaron Wan-Bissaka off the bench, but that's, you know, Bally and Tuanzebe. And again, I honestly don't think that the level drops too much when you have Bally and Tuanzebe. In fact, you may have more balance, you know, because Bally is stronger and faster than Lindelof, and that complements Maguire, who's not as fast as he would need to be. So when you look at this, you know, whether it's McTominay or Pogba, whether it's, you know, or McTominay and Matic, more like it, you know, whether it's, you know, Pogba or Bruno, whether it's Fred or Van der Beek, whether it's Rashford or Martial, whether it's Cavani or Greenwood, there is so much strength and depth that really, when you take out one of these, the level of the team, in my opinion, it actually doesn't drop that much, if at all. I mean, it changes. Don't get me wrong, it is different, but this for me could easily be the starting lineup, and that's making what 3-4 changes to what I already had. I mean, it's very difficult to predict United's 11. It's very difficult to predict the formation. Is it going to be 4-3-3? Is it going to be 4-4-2? You know, it's going to be 4-2-1-2. I mean, they've got so many combinations of players that they can put in. It's really, really hard to see. Now, I'm going to go back to the players or the team that I want to see. And for me, that's Matic, Bruno, Pogba, with Cavani, Rashford, and Greenwood. And if there was a change to that, the only change I'd make is take Greenwood out, put Fred in, and have a diamond and a 4-4-2. But this is what I'd like to see. So let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if the lineup has been announced, and if so, would really like to know what it is, guys. Again, you can always follow us on Twitter. Here, just it's at red_devils_show. So please, you know, follow on Twitter. You know, have a chat, have a bit of banter, discussions. And again, as always, on the YouTube channel, please just subscribe, hit that bell so you're notified of videos. We have live videos every match day, pre-game and post-game. So I'd love to be able to get you watching live and in the chat box. As we can see now in the chat, we have a few people on, so that's fantastic. Let me just read out a few of the chats. Mad that the West Brom held Liverpool to a draw and are 4-0 down to Leeds at half time. That's it. Some of the results have been incredible. Like when you think about Aston Villa smashing Liverpool 7-2 when Liverpool had a full team. You know, Spurs beat United 6-1, but we only had 10 men for 80 minutes. Still a bit shocking. But when you look at like Arsenal beat United and then couldn't win a game for their next 6 matches. They could not win a game. But then they go and beat Chelsea, which is just ridiculous. You know, they've lost to so many teams and they've drawn with so many teams. The only 2 wins they've had are actually against 2 fairly decent sides. Dwayne Morgan, Bailey is the spelling. Appreciate that, Dwayne. That's extremely helpful. I will actually make that change now with the other L in there. So that sorts that out. Dwayne Morgan, thanks very much. Good contribution. Beyond that though, the results are ridiculous. So, you know, West Brom being able to hold Liverpool, one of the best attacking sides in the league, and yet then they concede 4 within a single 45 minutes to Leeds. It's strange. Dwayne Morgan, get your crayons out. Tellez is starting, fantastic. So then we have and we're just going to very quickly just bring up the team again. So I may be wrong with a lot of the other selections because this is just who I wanted to see. Don't see too many problems with Tellez starting over Shaw. In fact, it probably gives us a little bit more of an attacking flair and maybe more passes and crosses in from the left position. So that's interesting now to see Tellez is starting. And let me know how the other picks that I have there, how they're faring. You know, is Matic starting? Is it Bruno and Pogba? Is it maybe Matic, Bruno and Fred? Love to know. But we then see Dwayne says Matic is in. Excellent. Mark Kelly, why Martial? I'm not sure what you're referring to. Are you asking why Martial is dropped? Or are you asking why Martial would be in the team? Mark Kelly, love to know your thoughts. Thanks for joining live, appreciate it. So Dwayne Morgan, no Fred or McTominay. Great. So that means, okay, matches starting, no Fred or McTominay. They played in the last game v Leicester. Didn't have a great game. They didn't play bad. And they were you know, they do a lot of running, but they did very little in regards to getting forward. A lot of that heavily relies on Bruno. Dwayne Morgan, Rashford, Cavani and Greenwood starting with Bruno and Jogba. I think he means Pogba, except he jogs a lot maybe. That's actually pretty good, Dwayne. Fair play. But that's excellent. So that's the team I actually have. Brilliant. So other than Tellez, this is the team I wanted to see. Let's just bring it in here. So as Dwayne said, we've got Rashford, Cavani and Greenwood up top, which is fantastic. We got Bruno and Pogba, which adds an attacking flair. As far as attacking players go, that's a 5, which is great. Hopefully being supported by Tellez and whoever's at right full, be it Twinzaby or be it Aaron Bissaka, but it's probably Twinzaby. So with that, that's a very attacking lineup. We just need Matic to read the game well. You know, obviously he doesn't have the legs of McTominay, but he does read the game really well and gets himself into those defensive positions. So hopefully he does that today and protects Maguire and what I imagine is Bali at centre half. So great to know that. John Toland, that is John Toland Senior, who is watching us live. As many as Leeds. Not sure what he means, but Leeds have 4 goals up at West Brom. So Dad, that's you. I hope you're watching the match this time. I hope you're enjoying it. Great result so far for Leeds, who are 4-0 up at half time against West Brom, which is incredible. As Deco mentioned, they managed to keep a clean sheet for a good portion of the Liverpool game and held them to a draw, and yet they conceded 4 goals in a single half of football. Mark Kelly, whatever the setup, it only needs 1 centre defensive midfielder at most, not 2. So Mark, it is correct when you have Matic there maybe, but neither Fred or McTominay are good enough on their own to be a central defensive midfielder. They're both great together as a partnership, but they're not good enough on their own individually. I also don't really see either one of them as a defensive midfielder, or at least primarily a defensive midfielder. McTominay could be box to box. He has an engine on him and he could really make runs, and we saw against Leeds with his quick 2 goals that he actually can strike a ball. He actually has composure if he does get forward very often. So just because they play a defensive role in a lot of games, I wouldn't when you play a McTominay and a Fred, I don't think that necessarily means you're playing with 2 defensive holding midfielders. I think that you're playing one as a box-to-box midfielder. Even Fred, if you watch him, he actually gets around the pitch quite a bit, and he doesn't sit like Matic. When you're playing Matic, it's probably the only player who really sits in between the 2 centre halves and picks up the ball very deep and defends very deep in front of that defence, whereas Fred and McTominay like to get around a bit more. But yeah, no, I agree. I think we just need to buy a world-class central defensive midfielder because Matic is on his last legs. John Tolan says get rid of Maguire. Well, I have Maguire in there. I'm not sure if you're just saying that or if you're saying he's not playing. But Maguire is nowhere near as, and while capable of a mistake as is any defender, he's nowhere near as bad as people make out. And he's actually done quite well in recent games. And anybody blaming Maguire for the first goal against Leicester is an idiot. He stumbled over, he fell over and lost balance, but he still got the ball to a Man United player. He got it to Bruno, who was actually in space. It wasn't like he was under pressure. Bruno tried to nutmeg a player on the edge of his own box. And that's the mistake. And I love Bruno, but he's capable of mistakes. He's capable of losing possession. And he did. And McTominay didn't close the shot down. So really, that mistake was Bruno and McTominay for that goal against Leicester, and had nothing to do with Maguire, in my opinion. So we have Maguire in there, but as Dwayne mentions, then Aaron Wan-Bissaka is fit. He is playing, which gives us a great defensive right back there to position himself alongside Telles and Bali. So again, we just jump back into our team, and this is what it's looking like so far, unless I have something else wrong. Again, I haven't seen the team lineup. This was predominantly the formation I wanted them to play. Matic, Bruno, Pogba, Greenwood, Cavani, Rashford was predominantly the attacking lineup I wanted them to play, and it looks like they are playing that. I did have Twinzabi and Bali in there because I'm not sure about Aaron Wan-Bissaka's and Lindelof's injuries, but I have been informed by a reliable source, Dwayne Morgan, that Aaron Wan-Bissaka is in fact starting. So, great look in defence. I love that midfield. I really hope that they can perform, that they can get on the ball, be composed, and really just get that ball to our front three and then support them enough so that we can actually get 1 or 2 goals, early goals on the scoreboard, and that way then we soak up the pressure from Wolves and keep catching them on the break, and that's what we need to do, and that's what the early goals will do for us. We see here then that Mark Kelly says, why would Martial be in the team? Well, he in the last 3 or 4 games has a goal and 2 or 3 assists. He's actually been in great form for the last 3 or 4 games. He hasn't scored loads, but he has assisted quite a few, and he has played well. So why wouldn't he? I mean, Cavani is my first choice. Rashford is my second choice. But if you had a third player in there, then for me, Greenwood and Martial are fairly level in form for me. I do think Martial played poorly against Leicester, and hence probably why he's dropped today. But he was actually really good in the game before Leicester. So yeah, I mean, he's on and off it, but yeah, I would not mind if he was playing today. Put it that way. Robert Fox, I put my house on Cavani getting 1, maybe 2 tonight. Okay, Foxy. Well, I'll take that bet, and I will bet my world champion trophy. Okay, this is my world champion trophy, right? Made of solid gold, right? Solid gold, not plastic, as one might think. And I will bet you that against your house that Cavani won't score 2. Alright? And if he does, I'll be fucking delighted. Evening all from Robert Fox, Evening Foxy. Good to see you joining us live. Appreciate it. Dwayne Morgan, I lied about everything. None of them are starting. Fuck you, Dwayne. If that was true, it would be brilliant. Okay, so the only person I can fully trust in our chat is Obi-Wan K, who is Deco, who joins us on our show from time to time, and hopefully will be joining us for the next game that we're playing. But Deco, can you please confirm that what Dwayne had originally said about the team is correct, and that this team is the team we are starting with today? Would love for you to just give a thumbs up on that if possible. But thank you. Okay, Evening Foxy, that's some confidence there. Robert Fox, my house has a pub, need more of you, lol. Hi. Rich Sports, who has his own United channel, if you can check it out. It's called Rich Sports, and he does Man United preview shows, normally actually 24 hours before the game, and then he also does a watch along during the day. I don't do a watch along because I want to watch the game live in the sitting room on the TV, so I don't have this. But we'll be doing a show from Foxy's pub that he mentions, and we'll be doing a watch along with Foxy and a few other Man United fans in the near future. So keep a lookout for that. Excellent. So as we've said, and we have the chat up there, so any other chats coming in, we will definitely just be able to answer what people are saying. It's a huge game, guys. We all know this. We all know that it's very important, 3 points. I actually don't have a clip of the league table, but the league table itself will look very, very pretty if we were to win today. There's no sign of the Burnley game, which is our game in hand, that has been our game in hand all bleeding season. There's no sign of when that's going to be scheduled. And with the fixture pile-up that could happen in the near future with Man City postponing games, our Carling Cup game or Carabao Cup game is likely to be postponed. And if that's the case, we're going to have a big fixture pile-up soon, and that's not really good for anybody. So it's very, very, very difficult to see when we're going to get that Burnley game out of the way, but I want it to be done really, really soon. We don't have this man in the middle. We don't have Van der Beek in the starting 11 today, but we have Bruno and Pogba, and I'm hoping for a brilliant game from both of those. But I have no doubt that we will probably see Van der Beek and Martial come on at some stage in the game, especially if we're still drawing. So we'll have to see how that goes. But Van der Beek could prove to be very important. But for the moment, we have Pogba and we have Bruno, and we're hoping that they do that they have a great game with assists, with goals, and their overall playing contribution. But I think Foxy talking about Cavani getting one, or at least one, maybe even two tonight. Will he do it? God, I hope so. He could be very, very important for us. He's also going to be rested soon, because whether or not he appeals, the decision to be banned by the FA for his Instagram post, that will be on the 4th of January. So he could have a few games off after the 4th of January. And be back in time, hopefully, for the Liverpool game on, I believe, is the 17th of January. Again, there's probably some rescheduling going to be ahead of us soon, so not going to be able to trust exactly what matches are on at what time. But very, very, very important player for us today. So hopefully Cavani does get the 2 goals, in which case I will give Rob Fox my World Champion Gold trophy. Rich Sports says, tough game. I was thinking 2-1 to United. Well, I mean, tough game or not, I would love to see a 2-1 to United. Man United have a very bad habit of not taking advantage when other teams drop points before our game. Quite often we might win a match, and then the teams after us play and they draw or lose, and it's like, yes, great weekend for United. But it's never the case when they play first. When United know that Leicester have drawn, Chelsea have lost, Liverpool maybe have lost, and they know that they can win a game and gain 3 points, 2 points, they then tend to not win it. I don't know what it is, but they need to get over this mentality hurdle that they have, and actually start winning games when they know when they're able to take advantage of the previous day's results. So we wait and see. Rich, really, really hoping that we get a 2-1 win, 3-1, 4-1. I mean, I honestly, the result is really important today. I'll take any result, even if it's 1-0. I'd absolutely take it. Dwayne Morgan, is his preview shows better than his disc drive? Thanks for the support, Dwayne, appreciate it. Have you got anything to contribute in the chat in regards to it? Dwayne Morgan, he's probably in a bad mood. Can anybody put in the chat how Arsenal are currently doing? Because we all know they're sitting 15th. Oh wait, probably still 0-0. But let me see. Rob Fox, Bally starting, excellent, Rob, thanks a lot. And I think that's great because it does complement Maguire. Bally has a lot of strength but a lot of pace, and whenever Maguire makes a mistake, which we know he's capable of, he really is capable of mistiming a challenge or misjudging a run or falling over his own legs. So it's nice to have Bally's pace back there, so fingers crossed. Dwayne, did you know we have a game in hand against Burnley? Rob Fox, what do we think of him since being back in the team? Rob, let us know what you mean or who you're referring to there in regards to that. Dwayne Morgan, wasn't sure, Deco. John might confirm it though. Yes, in fact, this may not be common knowledge, right? But Man United have in fact got a game in hand, and it's against Burnley, who I would hope, or who I would imagine, we can beat, and get even closer to teams like Liverpool, and further the gap from teams like Chelsea and City and Spurs and Leicester, with that game in hand, which is against Burnley. The game in hand that we have, it's against Burnley. So Rob Fox, Leeds 5-0 up. Well, it's John Tolan Sr. Leeds 5-0 up. That has got to feel good. West Brom absolutely getting a spanking since that result against Liverpool. Rob Fox 1 up the Gunners, which means, okay, that would be a huge win and 3 points for Arteta and Arsenal, should it stay that way. So Dwayne, I mean, really, you should be in a bit of a better humour, man. You should be in a bit higher spirits. You've got another win, 2 in a row, which is hard to come by so far for you guys this season. So, you should take that. Yeah, Rich Boards agrees. A big win for Arsenal if they can hold it. It's a huge win, and they're 15th in the table. Let me have I don't actually have my phone, but I imagine 3 points down there would actually change their position quite significantly. They probably go from 5th to 10th, or maybe even 9th. I'm not sure, because I'm not sure what the table looks like from Arsenal's point of view, but a couple of good wins for them, and they'll start to climb it. Probably, I wouldn't say a little too far off to vie for top 4, but they would have to put together some run of games to put themselves in a position 2 or 3 months from now that they're actually fighting for top 4. Because while a lot of teams in the top 4 are inconsistent, and they are dropping points with draws and losses, for Arsenal to win every game, and then the teams within the top 4 to lose enough that Arsenal are up there, be very difficult. Dwayne Morgan, we'd be top if we could play United every week. Well, that's the thing, you can't. And unlike Chelsea, when you won 3-1, you beat United with the last kick of the game. It was a penalty. It's not like you spanked us 2 or 3 or 4-0. If you played United every week, there's a very good chance you would lose the majority of those matches. We'll never know because you can't. But I mean, let's be honest. We're technically in 3rd. After today, we could be in 2nd, making us the 2nd best team in the league at the moment. That can change quickly, but it is what it is right now. So I don't know. I'd be careful what you wish for. Right now you're winning, so that'll be a good game for you. We are 20 minutes away. Dwayne Morgan supports Arsenal, Rich. He's a Gunners fan through and through. Good friend of mine, and I don't like to rip into Arsenal too much. I kind of saved that for the Liverpool fans, I know. Also, there's no point in kicking somebody when they're already down. A lot of fans might want to take the piss out of United at the moment, which, in fairness, you can take on the chin, because, like I said, we're very close to 2nd. And we're very close to 4th if we can play that game in hand against Burnley. I'm not sure you know that, but we have a game in hand against Burnley. So, if we can take a bit of banter and a bit of slagging, because we're up there. If we were sitting 6th or 7th or 8th or 9th or 10th or 11th or something like that, then you'd be kind of like asking fans, give us a break, will you? Jesus Christ, you're just kicking us while we're down. But when you're up there, you can take a bit of the banter. It's a bit easier to take because if anybody says United are poor, well, all they're saying really is that their team is poor, because nobody is far enough ahead of United that you could say they're poor and anyone else is not. So I'll leave it there. Dwayne Morgan does say, I take a draw at Brighton. I don't know why you take a draw at Brighton. I mean, yes, they're a tough side. Yes, Liverpool were lucky to get a point at Brighton. Man United were lucky to get a win. Not in that they shouldn't have had the penalty. They got absolutely 100% was a penalty. They blocked it with their hand when we were putting pressure on them. It's 100% a penalty. Bruno Fernandes puts it away well. It's 100% a win. But to get 3 points in that game, I thought was very fortunate for United because, in my opinion, other than maybe the Arsenal game, it is, and other than maybe the Arsenal game and the first 60 minutes against West Ham, that Brighton game for me was one of the worst performances I've seen. It's one of the worst performances I've seen all season from United. Dwayne Morgan, I'm going to show that because I don't know why I can't. This show is not for kids, which is why I'm having a beer while I discuss the game. So take a draw because Arsenal are shite. Yes, but you're winning. You just beat Chelsea. A second win in a row could help build a bit of momentum, build confidence, which does change and take a team from being shy to being maybe not so shy. And then you can build on that. Dwayne Morgan says Burnley putting a run together. You don't want to play them now. No, and we're not going to. I mean, as far as I know, this match will likely be played in. I don't even know. I don't even know when they're going to fit in. A lot's going to depend on what happens with the league. We could see the league suspended with what's going on at the moment with the amount of COVID cases coming on. And then the league would have to, I don't even know if they'd cancel it or if they do what they did last year and then just play it through the summer. And I hope that's not the case. But, we've got City postponing the game against Everton. So that leaves a build-up of games. We've got our Carabao Cup game with City coming up next Wednesday, I think. And if that's the case, we have to then replay that somewhere. We have to fit that fixture in somewhere where we don't already have space. That Burnley match, Jesus, I mean, they should have played it and got it out of the way already, but they haven't. I don't think it's due to take place anytime in January, maybe not even February. And if that's the case, then we could be looking at March or April before we even get that game out of the way. So we'll see what Burnley's form is like then. But right now, probably best that we're not playing them with the run they're on. Dwayne Morgan just continues to say there, probably be played in between your Champions League games. Okay, so it's ironic an Arsenal fan slagging United about Champions League football. I can't remember when you boys last finished in the top 4 and even got to watch Champions League football, but it wasn't this year, that's for damn sure. So hopefully you can finish top 4 this year, or win the Europa Cup. Are you even in the Europa Cup? Maybe you're in the Europa Cup, and you might win that and get Champions League football next year, but you might not. But yeah, no, we have Europa League games. So your joke aside, it's a lot of games, and Europa League it's actually worse than the Champions League as far as fixtures are concerned, because you have to, the teams you play against, a lot of them are just, they're in the middle of nowhere sometimes. With the Champions League, yeah, there's a few German teams. You go to Italy, maybe Spain and whatnot, but there's a lot more travelling sometimes in the Europa League when you're playing some kind of obscure team, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, we'll wait and see, and we see what happens at Burnley. But going back to City, and you did stump me with that one, because at first I thought you were serious, and then I realised, no, you're not. You're ripping the piss, but that's allowed. In my opinion, after the first 2 wins we had, spectacular performance against PSG. Unbelievable 5-0 spanking of RB Leipzig. To go out after those 2 results, losing to Istanbul, and then losing both to PSG and RB Leipzig, absolutely disgraceful, and probably a stain on Ole's season. And while Ole will learn from it and will make further mistakes, I think the Ole out crowd did jump on that a little bit to try and push their narrative that he's not doing well, but it's hard to give any credence to that narrative when you're nearly second in the league, and you're within 5 or 2 points off Liverpool, who are top of the league. I mean, to be in that position and have anyone argue that you're not doing well is a little bit ludicrous. Yes, we lost to PSG, but anybody could. They're the runners up at the Champions League last year. They're fantastic. But the RB Leipzig game, that was purely down to Ole's choice, his match management when he played a back seven. Essentially played a back seven defenders with only 3 attacking players, and it kind of shot us in the foot. But he'll learn from that, and probably a stain on his season with regards to going out of the Champions League. But hopefully we can take advantage of that. I don't think we were ever going to win the Champions League, so yes, while it would be nice to continue watching Champions League football, possibly play against the Juventuses or Real Madrids or the Barcelonas, or even the Liverpool in a European match, and all that would be lovely. I don't think we were ever going to win the Champions League, whereas with the Europa Cup we absolutely have a chance of getting to the final and maybe winning that, which could end up being a really good thing for the team to get that winning mentality and put a trophy in the cabinet and build on that. So we wait and see. Dwayne Morgan, but that's Ole's form. Hot period followed by cold, then hot. Never seems to get warm instead of cold. I agree. There's a lot of inconsistency, but sometimes the inconsistency it can be in small patches, like beat Newcastle 4-1, draw with Chelsea, smash RB Leipzig 5-0, lose to Arsenal, and the list goes on. We kind of have that, but we do have longer spells of hot than we have any spells of cold. When you think about last season, we had a 20-game winning streak, which is probably the longest that we've had since Fergie, which is saying something. We currently, as far as our away form is concerned, we have the 10-game winning streak away from home. We might have lost that actually against Leicester when we drew, because that was at Leicester. So that streak is over. I mean, we still have an undefeated streak away from home. We had a 10-game winning streak away from home, which is the longest winning streak away from home in the club's entire history. Like, no manager for United ever won 10 away games in a row. So there is a consistent hot period there. But yeah, no, I do agree. He does have hot followed by cold, but I do think that when you have so many good players, and you do need to rotate because of the amount of games coming in, I would argue that this season is not a good measure of that hot followed by cold, because show me a manager that has a consistent hot period right now. I don't think anybody has. I mean, the fact that United are possibly within 2 points of Liverpool, who are in first, tells me that nobody has a hot period right now without being followed by a cold. Everybody has massive inconsistency this season. United's inconsistencies are actually less than most, which is why we find ourselves in third, vying to get into second with today's game. Dwayne Morgan, not sure Wolves will do anything this evening. Dwayne, you know more about football than me, right? It goes without saying. And I haven't been paying much attention to Wolves' form. The only thing I know about them is that they lost Jimenez to that head fracture and sickening injury that he had, which was awful, and nobody wants to see any player inflicted by it, especially an outfield player. We all know what happened to Peter Cech at Chelsea, but he was at least able to wear a head brace, and as a goalkeeper probably doesn't have to head the ball very much, but as a striker, winning headers, going up for headers, whether it's long balls from your keeper, whether it's cross-ins or corners, I mean, it's a vital part of the game. And apparently he may make a full recovery, which would be fantastic, but a sickening injury nonetheless. That's all I actually know about Wolves. They're missing their best striker. And I think also, Liverpool took Jota from them, which again would have weakened their team. But as far as I know, they're not doing too badly. They still have a good attacking side. They're still managed by a great manager. So yeah, I mean, you're saying you don't think they'll do anything. I mean, I'd love if they didn't. I will take that with a little bit of caution, because like I said before, the result is everything to me in this tonight. I mean, If we scrape a 1-0 win, I'll take it. If we batter them 5-0, of course I'll take it. But we'll wait and see. Guys, we have 10 minutes, or roughly about 10 minutes till kickoff. So I'm going to leave it there. I want to thank every single person who's joined live. Mark Kelly, Foxy, John Tolan Sr., Obi-Wan K, aka Deco, Dwayne Morgan. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks very much, because without your contribution, without your chats, there's less for me to talk about. So I really appreciate you contributing. I want to thank you all very much. Please join me in the post-game video. Hopefully we're discussing a win and not a loss or a draw, but actually a win that puts United into second. So please join me for the post-match video at 10 o'clock. Would really love it. For anybody else watching, whether it's live, whether it is after the fact, please subscribe, like, share the video with your friends, especially Man United fans. I mean, all football fans welcome. All football fans will be able to have banter and fun. Your chats will always be read. We'll discuss things, but yeah, even especially United fans, share it, like it, and help build a community where everybody's voice in the chat is heard, where we get to have a bit of banter, and hopefully together watch a great successful season unfold in front of us. But again, thanks to everybody for joining. I will chat to you very soon. Appreciate it.
Glory, glory, Man United! Glory, glory, Man United!
Glory, glory, Man United, as the Reds go marching on!
Welcome to Old Trafford.
It's the better of our dreams, the power and the glory of the Shepherd End will sing. The Busby boys will take the pitch, marching at their feet, as the Reds go marching on! Glory, glory, Man United! Glory, glory, Man United! Glory, glory, Man United! As the Reds go marching on!
This shirt belongs to you. Always has, always will.
Chevrolet, proud supporter of Manchester United.